Ladies and gentlemen, big news is shaking Nigeria and even beyond today. IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, has loudly demanded the release of their leader, Nnamdi Kanu, following a shocking verdict from a Kenyan court. This is a story that affects politics, law, human rights, and national conversations. And today, we will break it all down for you, so make sure you stay tuned, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel for more updates. The Kenyan verdict is being described as a judicial earthquake. The High Court in Nairobi ruled that Kanu's arrest in Kenya and his subsequent transfer to Nigeria were illegal. The court made it very clear that his rights were violated. Kanu was denied access to proper food, water, medical care, and basic communication. The court said this was unconstitutional and awarded him significant compensation for the violation of his rights. IPOB sees this as a major validation of everything they have been saying for years, that Kanu was taken illegally from one country to another. IPOB's reaction has been strong and decisive. Their representatives praised the judgment and immediately called for Kanu's release. They are urging the Nigerian government to terminate his ongoing trial, arguing that since his transfer was illegal, the legal basis for prosecuting him in Nigeria is fundamentally flawed. This is not just about one man's freedom. IPOB sees this as a critical moment in a long struggle over justice, legal accountability, and political representation. In Nigeria, the situation is tense. While IPOB celebrates the Kenyan court's ruling, the Nigerian courts have taken a very different approach. On November 20th, 2025, a Nigerian Federal High Court handed down a verdict in Kanu's terrorism trial. Kanu was convicted on all charges and sentenced to life imprisonment. This verdict has created a dramatic clash between the international legal perspective and Nigeria's domestic legal process. IPOB is insisting that the Nigerian trial is now invalid, but the courts have ruled otherwise. This story is about more than just one trial. It raises serious questions about justice, human rights, and international law. The Kenyan ruling highlights what can happen when legal rights are ignored, while the Nigerian verdict demonstrates the strength of domestic judicial systems and the challenges that political leaders face in balancing law, order, and dissent. As we talk about this, I want you to think about it and share your thoughts. Do you believe IPOB's demand for Kanu's release is justified after the Kenyan ruling? Do you think the Nigerian courts should reconsider their verdict in light of international law? Or should they stand firm? Put your thoughts in the comments below and remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss updates on this story. IPOB has already indicated that they plan to take their campaign further. They may pursue legal challenges in Nigeria, appeal the verdicts, and seek international support. This could have a long-lasting impact on Nigeria's legal system, political landscape, and the perception of justice across borders. The situation is complex, and every development could affect not only Kanu's future, but also the future of political activism in Nigeria. We also have to look at the broader impact. This is not just about Kanu, it is about the rule of law, political accountability, and the rights of citizens. If a government can bypass legal processes in one country and act without consequence, it sets a dangerous precedent. The Kenyan court's ruling reminds everyone that legal systems exist to protect rights, even for controversial figures. This could influence how other governments and organizations approach human rights and political cases in the future. At the same time, the Nigerian verdict demonstrates the realities of domestic power and law enforcement. Kanu was convicted despite his refusal to participate fully in his defense. The court considered the charges and evidence presented and ruled accordingly. This has caused a divide in public opinion. Some see it as justice being served, others see it as an injustice, particularly given the Kenyan court's findings. I want to take a moment here to encourage you again. If you are following this story and finding it interesting, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you can stay updated. This story is ongoing, and there will be new developments soon that you will want to know about in real time. IPOB supporters are energized. They feel the Kenyan court ruling is a major victory, not just legally, but morally. They argue that this is proof that their leader was wronged and that justice should prevail. They are calling for the Nigerian government to acknowledge the Kenyan verdict and act accordingly, pushing for Kanu's immediate release. Whether the government will respond is uncertain. But the pressure is building. The political and social implications are huge. Kanu is a symbolic figure. His trial, conviction, and the international support for his case influence public perception and political movements, particularly in southeastern Nigeria. It also raises questions about how political dissent is treated in Nigeria. Can international legal opinions influence domestic courts? How should governments balance law, order, and human rights? These are critical issues that people across the country are watching closely. This situation also affects Nigeria's image abroad. International observers are paying attention to both the Kenyan ruling and Nigeria's response. Government organizations and the media are watching closely to see how Nigeria handles this tension between domestic law and international human rights rulings. The outcome could have implications for Nigeria's reputation in diplomacy, trade, and governance. IPOB's next steps are likely to include legal appeals, public campaigns, and international advocacy. They want the world to know their perspective and to pressure Nigeria to reconsider Kanu's trial and imprisonment. This is a pivotal moment, and it's important for viewers like you to understand both sides, to see how legal systems, politics, and human rights intersect in this story. Remember, if you are following this story and want to keep up with every development, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Your engagement helps ensure you get accurate, timely updates as this story unfolds. At this point, the tension between legal systems, political movements, and public opinion has never been higher. IPOB is insisting on action. The Nigerian government and courts are standing by their verdict. The public is divided. International observers are watching, and the story is far from over. This is a story about justice, law, and accountability. It is about political movements and how governments respond to them. It is about a man who has become a symbol of resistance, legal struggle, and human rights. And it is about how citizens, courts, and governments navigate the difficult balance between authority and fairness.